Welcome to the table. I'm Kelly, and I'm here to talk about the #1 rule in D&D, which is more fun to talk about than the first rule of Fight Club, because, I've said too much. The single most important rule in D&D that you should never break is this is a game and you and everyone at your table should be having fun. And before you click away, because I know that sounds lame, I have some specific tips on how to make sure everyone at your table is getting the most out of the game. And if you're a player, I've got some tips for you as well. There are so many fun aspects of D&D, so it's pretty likely that the players at your table each have a different favorite part of the game. Whether it's RP, spell combos, combat, magic items, exploration, or puzzle solving. You can figure out what each of your players like and make sure you plan your sessions to include those elements. If you're running a campaign for the same group of players, you should watch each of them to see how they interact with different aspects of the game to figure out what they like most about D&D. After watching my players over the course of our 2-year campaign, I had a pretty good idea of what each of them engaged with and what each of them didn't like doing. Once I had a handle on that, I could design the sessions to include more of some elements and less of others. 2 of my players really love loot. They like finding magic items and then using them in creative ways, or finding creative combinations of items and spells to use together. So I made sure that I sprinkled magic items throughout the loot that I thought had interesting use cases or might complement their classes, rather than just using random item tables. I tried to find more obscure utilitarian magic items because those players seem to like finding obscure use cases for very particular items. I know that one of my players loves RP. They like combat too, but the thing that they like doing most is interacting with NPCs and being able to work through the backstory that they set up for themselves through meaningful scenes. I made sure that the characters from their backstory were much more present in our campaign than some of the other players. One of my players was a bit more shy and didn't really like to have one-on-one conversations in RP. They much more preferred to RP in a group where they could chime in without having to carry a whole conversation. I still managed to give them some time in the spotlight though, by setting up some solo scenarios that their character would be best suited to solve, such as stealth missions, but kept the RP to a minimum while they were on their own. Another one of my players loved discovering new spells and new spell combos. I made sure that they faced other spellcasters with spellbooks so they could get new spells often. I also padded out the spellbooks with other spells I thought they might find useful or interesting, beyond the standard ones for those monsters. I also found that they really enjoyed being able to get the party out of precarious situations with creative spell use. That was an easy one though. I just threw them into a ton of really tough situations to see what creative way they would come up with to get out of it. Now, these were specific examples from my group, but after watching your players, I'm sure you'll see that some of them like the same aspects, so you can design your sessions similarly. The easiest way to make sure that your next session is going to be super fun for everyone at the table is to hit that subscribe button down below. And fun. If you're a player, there are a couple of things you can do to make sure everyone is having fun at the table. The first is to take mental note of what you enjoy most about the game. Once you start to really pay attention, you might surprise yourself when you realize something unexpected is the most fun for you. Once you know what you enjoy most about the game, don't be shy about telling your DM. Hopefully they'll be open to including more of whatever that aspect is into your next sessions. The other thing you can do is just be a good player at the table. Make sure you're not always taking the spotlight from the other players, and don't argue with your DM. If you have questions about one of their rulings, just talk to them privately in between the sessions. If you're a DM, this rule also applies to you. You should be having fun at the table as well. It's so much work to run a campaign, and it's only worth it if you're having fun. So if anyone in your group is doing something that lessens your enjoyment of running the game, then just talk to them privately in between sessions. So, don't forget, this is a game and we're all here to have fun. If something isn't fun, then change it, retcon it, get rid of it. The other way you can make sure your players are having fun is by making sure their decisions matter. If you want to learn how to do that, you can check out this video here. And hey, I appreciate you.